what's in the God's mind. Listen.
The person of sincere love the God.
That mean they arms too short, like tall Anthony Shaw. What's good, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of SincereluvdagodCast. I am the God Sincere Love. Back up in this joint once again with my lovely co-host, Nicey Girl. What's going on, family?
What's good? Another preemptive broadcast because we have to break down sinners.
Yes, indeed, man. That's what we're here for this evening. We're going to get into this Sinners movie. Everybody is talking about it. The whole world is buzzing about it. A lot of FBA magic going on in the atmosphere right now.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? The Majora spirit is majorating right about now.
Yes, it is.
And so we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about this movie, man. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. Like I was saying last week, before I even saw the movie, I'm like, this feels like it's gonna be one of those milestones where you always remember the time, you know what I'm saying, when this movie drops. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what era, what year it was, and all of that. It's gonna be one of those for sure. It's already there. Instant classic. So we definitely gonna be getting into that right after these quick commercial breaks. And while we're doing that, as y'all coming in here, I need y'all to hit that like button, share this out on your social media platforms. Let everybody know that we live right now on Sincere Love the Godcast, getting into this Sinners movie breakdown. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, man. Click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes. We'll be right back after this break.
And those Africans have to be organized to fight for their liberation.
GW Apparel, a clothing that speaks. Something for the kings, something for the queens. Visit uptsites.com and use promo code SLDG22 and receive 11% off your order. Peace.
It's the Ticket Plug. We've been running an online ticket business for over a decade, and now we've created an easy way for you to do the same thing through our private ticket resale community. Joining our community will give you a way to flip your bread and generate profit income consistently. We provide you with all the tools, training, and resources needed to start your life-changing online ticket business. Zero experience needed. To join our ticket resale community, go to thetickettrap.com. Again, go to thetickettrap.com. That's thetickettrap.com.
The Master's Table by DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love the God, now playing on the internet's #1 destination for true hip-hop. Introducing truthhiphop.com, a meticulously curated platform designed for connoisseurs seeking a superior quality of hip-hop. Immerse yourself in an unparalleled experience of 100% bar-heavy, authentically crafted, real hip-hop. Discover the essence of the genre, reminiscent of its golden era, now playing exclusively at truthhiphop.com. All right, we are back. What's going on, family? What's going on? All right. Nicey, you good?
I'm good. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you guys, again, do all the YouTube things. Share this broadcast out because we are talking about, we're going to call it now, the classic, a great classic timepiece, Sinners movie tonight.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, like I said, everybody's talking about this movie, man. It's all over the headlines. It's crushing it at the box office. You know, all of the podcasters and, you know, everybody with a microphone right now has to make mention of this monumental piece right here. I went to go see it Sunday, right after we got off the live. I know you had already seen it before. Well, you came late to the broadcast because you was watching it. And so, you know, we touched on the movie on Sunday just based on the buzz around it.
Right.
And some of the controversy, which was already happening in the news with them talking about the Hollywood execs panicking over the deal that Ryan Coogler got.
Yeah, the deal.
And some parts of the deal excuse me. Some parts of the deal is unique and for this situation right here, But the overall structure of the deal, from what I'm understanding now, it's not like this never been done before. It's just a problem because it's an FBA brother
Right.
getting the ownership of this IP, and they don't like that. That's the problem that they got with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason for a lot of the slanderous headlines that we're seeing as about the box office numbers, because, like I said, it's crushing it at the box office. It opened up at over 60 million over the weekend, the first couple of days, and the momentum is still going. I think they said on Monday it did close to 10 million and then another 9 million on Tuesday. Like, these are days people don't really go to the movies like that. That's the reason why they have $5 Tuesdays and matinee Tuesdays and all of that stuff in most theaters, because that's their slow time.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the buzz of the movie, because of the reviews of the movie, it's gaining momentum and traction, and just the way that they're rolling it out. I like the rollout that they're doing. They're hitting all the right press spots and media for the most part. It would be nice to see them tap in with the grassroots.
It would definitely be. I mean, considering he kind of sort of shouted out the Black grassroots.
Ain't no kind of, sort of.
When he said foundational Black American, did you see the person that was interviewing him? I can tell she wasn't FBA, but her eyes kind of bucked a little bit, didn't they?
It did. I saw it. I swear. I said the same thing. I said, "Oh, where's she from?" Just the quick little flash that they showed while he was talking.
Right.
I said, "Ooh, where's she from?"
No, and it wasn't just that, because it was like her energy like changed. Like no, he didn't say foundational Black American.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And I kind of dismissed the thought when I had it, because I'm like, maybe she's nervous. She looked young. I never seen it before. I'm like, maybe it's just a big moment and it just looked that way in the camera. But you saying it, and I seen the same thing. Yeah.
She definitely is not FBA. I know our phenotype. And let me clear, I'm FBA. I have a big forehead, right? But mine is still different. You know my head from their head. I'm telling you, you still can look at me like she's FBA.
I don't know.
Yeah, you a lie.
I got. Oh no, I smell Bammy. What y'all think?
You ain't no Bammy. I don't even know what Bammy is. Ain't no goose soup over here.
Nah, yeah, it wasn't a subtle shout out. It was loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? When I saw the movie, like I said, I went to go see the movie after we left here. So when I saw it, the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, this nigga gotta be reading the same shit I'm reading, listening to the same people I'm listening to. This nigga is tapped in with grassroots media.
Right.
Like the movie was speaking our language on the screen. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, ain't no way this man is not tapped in. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I called you after I came from seeing it, I'm like, yo, he seemed like he tapped in.
Right.
And sure enough, I forgot which interview it was. Let me show y'all real quick though. He was sitting down with somebody.
She wasn't too happy.
Of course, here it is right here. Oh, I gotta share the screen. My bad. Hold on a second. Now I lost it. Where'd it go? Right there. All right, let me share the screen with y'all. And so he made it clear. So it wasn't no guessing.
No. He delineated.
He did. And we're gonna get into that, but there was delineation throughout the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on a second.
Fair use, by the way. Fair use, just in
case. Oh
yeah,
definitely fair use. Fair use. We just doing commentary on this Sinners feedback. But this is Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, and I don't know what platform this is, but watch the face.
Watch that mug.
Look at the poster. It's a story primarily about Africans in America. If you know the history of foundational Black Americans, look at the poster. It's a story primarily about Africans in America. If you know the history of foundational Black Americans, look at the poster. It's a story primarily about Africans.
One more again.
In America. If you know the history of foundational Black Americans.
You know what I'm saying?
If you know the history of foundational Black Americans.
Specificity. It's the specificity for me. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that I'm so glad that moment happened.
Right.
In that interview.
Too.
Right. Because it just validated. I know what I was seeing when I was sitting in that movie theater. You know what I'm saying? I know what I was seeing. I'm like, okay. And I just respect Ryan Coogler's, like, he goes into the film making as like a historian. He's very thorough with the research and meticulous about details. You know what I'm saying? And so the way that he included a lot of intricate parts of our history, our foundational Black American history, as well as our ancient history as original people on the planet, and our interaction with some of the others here, you know what I'm saying? Particularly in the Mississippi Delta.
Right.
I guess I'm kind of gonna be bouncing. We're gonna be bouncing around with
all
it,
over, yeah.
But just to get into it real quick, we didn't even talk about. And I'm assuming most people saw the movie, but definitely bouncing around all over the place while the thoughts are there. And there's gonna be spoilers too, by the way.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So if you didn't watch the movie, you might want to watch it and then check out the replay to this afterwards. But I'm assuming that most people did watch it, so it should be okay to kind of skip around, because we're just going to be talking about we're going to be reacting to how we felt about the movie. We don't got to do everything in chronological order.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what I was going to mention is the inclusion of the Asian family threw a lot of people off. You know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of people like, why they couldn't just leave it, just us. It wasn't no Chinese people in Mississippi like that, blah, blah, blah. And come to find out that, there actually was. And he really did his homework to include that. Like, that wasn't just something that he was doing to try to go along, to get along. It wasn't something that he was doing to try to have diversity. You know what I'm saying?
Inclusion.
It wasn't about that. He was being historically accurate, because the movie is inspired by his own family lineage. You know what I'm saying? He had an uncle, he said, who was like one of the first people to come to Oakland or the Bay Area, and his family from the Mississippi Delta. And he was the oldest one in the family. So he was like the OG of the family. And he always used to like to hang around him and stuff like that. And his uncle would watch the San Francisco games, and he would play blues music. You know what I'm saying? And that was his interaction with the foundational Black American so-called genre, the blues music, his association with his uncle. And so he had lost his uncle. He tells the whole story about how he lost his uncle and he wasn't there like he would want to be there based on how close their relationship was. He kind of felt like, what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? And so when he wanted to tap into his uncle's energy and his uncle's spirit, he started throwing on blues records. And so through summoning the spirit of his uncle through the Black American art form of the blues is what inspired the whole entire movie.
Wow. And this timepiece is 1930s, by the way. If you guys don't know that, he's focused on the 1930s in this movie, although he flip-flops through different time periods as you get into the movie, which we'll talk about.
Right. And so since I mentioned the thing about the Asian family and some of the confusion that was out there about that, I wanted to show y'all, they posted some of to give context, they posted, where the inspiration came from and the woman that they had consulting on the film.
And she sounded like a country white woman.
For real, country as
like,
hell.
Literally a Southern, white woman.
Country as hell. So she said, "I'm the host and producer of this documentary about the Mississippi Delta Chinese video and also cultural consultant on the Sinners movie. Ryan Coogler and his team were meticulous about the details. Truly an honor to see nonfiction enter to the fiction space in this spectacular way. And so this is the Asian woman who was consulting on the movie, and Ryan actually found the documentary through him tracing, like I said, his family lineage, because I think his uncle told him that somebody in the family was Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he started doing the research to that, like Chinese in Mississippi, just like most people reacted to seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Like Chinese people in Mississippi. So he went down a rabbit hole and he came across this documentary and he hired the woman who made the documentary as a consultant.
How the Chinese came and just settled in the Delta from Memphis to Vicksburg. I mean, just look at it. It really filled a particular need because nobody else.
Fair use, by the way, fair use. And that's all I'm gonna play. I just wanted y'all to hear her accent. But this is posted on well, this is Proximity Media right here, but I think it's posted on the Instagram page for the Sinners movie also, I think.
Yeah. She sounds like a lily white woman. It was funny when I saw
like a Dolly
her.
Parton or something.
Right. When I went to Jamaica and you know we went to Times Square to go shopping and stuff like that down in Montego Bay, it was cultural shock for me to hear Asian people speaking in patois down there because the Jamaicans work for them, you know, out there. And I was just like, this is crazy. When I went to Trinidad, same thing. They had Trinidadian accents. I was like, this is weird because I had never seen that. The Asians here sound Asian.
Right.
In California. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
sound. But yeah,
Right.
to hear it and
Right.
see
But
it,
the thing is,
crazy.
her family been here since the late 1800s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They generations into this. You know what I'm saying? They came right after the Civil War when the U.S. was basically looking for cheap labor to replace us.
Right.
You know what I'm
why
saying?
they claim that they built the railroads.
Yeah, that part. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people were asking, like, so, you know, how come they were the ones that had the stores and all of that? You know, how did they get access to capital? How did they get loans and stuff like that? And so I think she was explaining, she was like, a lot of times some of them couldn't get loans in certain areas. There were certain areas where they just had to depend on us, the community, to support them and be their economic base. And they would like live inside the store, like the whole family live inside the store, work inside the store, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they basically, you know, they didn't have no other options. We were the only ones looking out for them. You know what I'm saying? White people wasn't rocking with them. They were othered in white society. And of course, us, we was the only ones that was like, oh, nah, y'all cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got y'all. What you got? What you got? Some cornstarch over there? You know what I mean?
Typical of us, right? To invite other people in, hence how those vampires got in through another.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to contextualize about the inclusion of the Asian family and even the mulatto chick, which we'll get into also.
Mary.
You know, the story behind it intertwines into why it was included. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just random. You know what I'm saying? Like he was making a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we invite everybody to the barbecue. We support everybody. And other people haven't gone through what we've been through, because the other side of that was in most areas, they weren't denied access to capital, to be able to buy property and land and stuff the way that we were. We were the only ones that went through that no matter what. There was no way out of that structure that was created for us to be at the bottom, where other people did have opportunities for upward mobility that we just didn't have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So and that goes back to the character Cornbread when he was on the, you know, out there picking cotton on the chain gang before he picked him up to go, you know, play. He was doing that to still provide for his family. His wife, his pregnant wife in that scene was picking cotton with him.
Yep. Anyway, all right, so we jumped all the way to the middle of the movie and shit. But
where we begin?
Yeah, where do we begin, man?
How
Where do we
about
begin?
we can start. Well, let's talk about Stacks and Smoke, the characters that Michael B. Jordan played. So
Mm-hmm.
Michael B. Jordan played two characters, the twins,
Right.
Stack and Smoke, who were from Mississippi. They had left Mississippi at some point, went to Chicago, got to Chicago, became some city slickers, brought some money back to Mississippi, and from my understanding, it was some money that they won or stole, from robbing banks or something like that. At least that's what Mary said. And I say that because she says, "Ooh, I wrote it down." She says that she tells him that you came back here after robbing banks and stealing or something, and you mean to tell me you basically have sex with me? There was some
Mm.
scene like that. I don't know if you remember that part. And I wrote it
Yeah,
down.
I don't remember. I don't remember that specifically, but yeah, they were up there. They mentioned something. I think they were working for Capone or something. Like they was tied
Yeah,
with the mob and all of that up there in Chicago, and they did some kind of finesse
they
where they
did some
came
finesse
up. They did some type of finesse where they came up and got that paper, and they went back home to go
to
build.
start the juke joint.
Right.
And specifically, she said, "You've been robbing banks and trains. You can't take this PUSSY for one night."
That was the hoodoo
That
one.
that no, that was Mary once she became the vampire. When she got on
Oh,
top of her, remember, because he had been the mulatto.
the mulatto girl.
The
Okay, yeah,
mulatto
yeah, yeah,
girl.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was later too. Yeah, that was later
Mhm.
too. That was once
But I was
everything
giving
started to
context
change.
on why they came back. So they came up, I guess, by stealing, robbing and stealing. So they were coming back home, to
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi, to give Black folks out there an outlet. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because what better outlet do we have outside of music and food? Because Annie also did the cooking. She ran the bar, but he asked her to do the cooking. And Annie is going to be our sister who was married to Stax in the beginning. She was doing the cooking. He asked her to do the cooking. But how do we gather around food and music? That's an
Right.
FBA cultural theme.
Right. And they was contrasting, the lifestyle of the people at the juke joints versus the church and all of that as
Hmm.
well. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it starts off with what they call in film, what they call a bookend, where
Hmm.
they give you the last scene first. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, and so what's his name? Sammy. He wanted to play the blues. He grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? He came up under his pops in the church and all that. And the blues at that time is considered devil music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they show how our music is a conduit between, this life, the afterlife, the ancestral realm, just the
Hmm.
spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? The music that we create is a conduit of that, and they showed that throughout the movie. Like the blues music was the thread of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Our connection to the blues and us using that in a spiritual way to express ourselves, to um deal with the trauma of what we're going through as oppressed people and all of that stuff in order to survive. We're
Right.
summoning this energy from the other side that's helping us survive. But you can draw in positive energy from the ancestral realm, and you could draw in some evil energy as
Right.
well. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And so that's why the vampires were attracted to the juke joint, because of that spiritual energy that was coming from it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So yeah, it gets into all of that stuff, and again, we skipping around.
We're
But
definitely skipping around, but yeah, and Preacher Boy, as they called him, or Sammy. I heard Preacher Boy more than
mm-hmm,
Sammy. How about you?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah,
So when we say Preacher Boy Sammy, we're talking about the same character. He is the actual blues player, sing guitar player in the movie. But then there's
yeah,
also Delta Slim. He was the
mm-hmm,
original, I guess, blues player before he became a drunken and kind of stopped playing a
mm-hmm,
little bit. But there was also Delta Slim in
mm-hmm,
the movie as well.
yeah. And that brother, what's his name?
Um,
Delroy.
his name is Delroy Lindo.
Yeah, Delroy Lando, legendary actor.
Mm-hmm.
He killed everybody. Killed their role.
Yeah.
Everybody. The casting was perfect. Everybody nailed their role. You know, the cinematography. You know, everything about this movie. I can't find. I can't find nothing to complain about. To say that
No.
this could have been, and I don't see that happening. Usually, when something is getting, you know, all of this acclaim, there's always a group of people that's going to be like some type of critique. But
Right.
y'all hyping it up. It's overrated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even hearing that. It's like
Right.
it's like unanimous. It's like unanimous across the board. Everybody's like, yo, this movie is amazing.
Even with white people that's seen it. And let me
Right.
say, in the theater that I went to, again, I went with myself, my son, his girlfriend. So that's three of us. It was only two more black people in the theater. Everybody else was other. Five people in the entire screening. We counted five of us in that theater. So they love to see what we're doing.
Yeah, reality. Buddy Guy played Sammy when he got older in the latter part of the movie, but it wasn't based on him though.
You're right.
It wasn't based on him, but it was dope that they included him in there. And y'all know that's Shauna's dad. You know the rapper Shauna from Chicago. She used to be with Ludacris, Disturbing the Peace.
I don't remember her. But you know, my brain I be missing stuff. If I hear her,
Y'all
I'll
know,
probably be like, yeah.
y'all know Shauna. Y'all know Shauna. What she was on Fantasy? What she was on Fantasy? Whatever. She used to be with Ludacris and Disturbing the Peace and all that. That's her father.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the movie when Stax and I don't know if it was both of them or one of them. Maybe it was Stax or Slim. I can't remember, y'all. But when he went up to Delta, when Delta was outside, Delta Slim was outside to ask him to play for him and telling him about all the Irish beer. Was it Irish beer that he can give him?
Mm-hmm.
Because he had
Yeah.
a drinking problem. And, talking about playing the blues. And he made a comment, and this is Delta Slim. He said, Christianity was given to us by the white man, but blues goes back to the ancestors. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
again,
remember
it
that.
talks about it marries culture, ancestral memory, everything to the blues. Everything started from the blues. Gospel music started from the blues.
Right. Right. Man. And so you talk about Michael B. Jordan playing the twins. Michael B. Jordan really plays three characters in the movie
Technically, you're right.
because
Mm-hmm.
he plays Smoke and Stack,
Mm-hmm.
and then he plays Stack after he gets turned
Right.
into a
Right.
vampire. So that's a whole different,
Character.
you know what I'm saying, embodiment. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal job. He killed it. He killed, and both of them really. I got to give props to both of them because even when you talk about the way that the movie was shot, this is Ryan Coogler's first time where he's shooting one actor playing multiple roles where they got to be in
Right.
the same scene and all of that. There was something else in the movie that it was a couple of things, technical things that he had to learn while he was making this movie. It's not like he already knew how to do it. You know what I'm saying? He already knew how to make it happen. He had to literally link up with other filmmakers who've done similar things and pick their brain and figure out what's possible and, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
how to set up the shots and everything in order to get that done. So on both of their parts, you know what I'm saying?
And it was seamless.
Right.
It was seamless. You didn't get any glitches or where it looked unnatural or anything like that. Like it was seamless.
And I was
Michael, go ahead.
never confused about which brother was on screen. I always
Right.
could tell them apart. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I feel like they had different accents, both country. You know what I'm saying?
They
And then,
had different cadence. They had different cadence to the
yeah,
way that they spoke.
yes. And then did one or both of them have the gold teeth? Because I
One,
remember, you know
wait,
what I'm saying?
I think only one of them had the gold
The
teeth.
gold teeth,
I think
yeah.
Stack had the gold teeth, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. But the other part of it was Smoke was in blue, Stack was in red. And so I know I saw shout out to Red Pill, Blue Pill. I know they was like they should have got some real twins to play the characters.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like how we be saying, get some real FBAs. Don't be having any old body play us. It was like, nah, they could have got some real twins. You know what I'm saying? The chemistry would have been better or whatever. I think it was just joking around or whatever.
Yeah.
But the red and blue wasn't lost on me though. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I think that was a subtle shout out. Now that we know for sure Ryan Coogler is tapped in with the grassroots. He knows what's going on out here. He knows who's who out here. He knows the language, all of that. And
They
so
all
that
do.
probably, I think that might have been a subtle shout out to red and blue pill to a certain degree. Just the choice of colors that he had on them. And also, you know, while we was talking about the technical thing, I wanted to mention this. They shot the film with these IMAX cameras, and they made it available in every type of digital platform that they could show on screens nowadays, which I didn't even know that. When I'm buying the tickets, I'm seeing all of these different options. You want to see it on this screen, you want to see it on this screen, but I didn't know what none of it meant until I started watching the interviews, and I seen him. He actually did a whole thing where he's just breaking that down. He's showing you the film. He did like some old school way that they don't even make movies no more with the wide film that he was using and all of that stuff. And really, most of us are not going to get a chance to see the movie the way it's really intended to be seen in theaters, because it's only available in 10 theaters in the country in the full IMAX version. But they got certain theaters that you could go to where you're basically surrounded by the screens and like you're immersed into the movie. You know what I'm saying? The screens on the side of you. You know, of course, you know, you got the 4D where, you know, they might splash blood on you and different stuff like that. And so every level that is available with today's technology, he made a version of it for that. You know what I mean? So a lot of work was put into it.
Yeah, Ty was telling me about that, and he looked up the two theaters that we have. We have one in Orange County and one in LA.
Did y'all do IMAX or no?
We did not. We didn't. Actually, he didn't look it up till after the fact. You know, because we thought about going to the movies like last minute. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I looked up some tickets. You want to go before or after your show? And I was like, well, when does it start? He was like, well, there's one at 12:30. I was like, oh, we can do that because the 2 hours I'll be out. I'll be in time for the show, but not knowing it was longer than expected.
Yeah. I seen it. I think it was an Atmos theater screen that we seen it on. And I didn't know. I just bought it because it was the time that I wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? But after I heard all that, I'm like, damn, I want to see it with the surround screens.
Right.
You know
now
what I'm saying?
I do too. I'm going to see it again.
Right. Where we at? What we talking about? Because it's so much I could hit on.
Let's talk about the voodoo root work. You know, they're tapping into voodoo root work. Annie, who was Stack's, I don't know if she was a stranger or not, because he came back, to where she was. But when he came back, he had like a mojo bag around his neck. Obviously, that's for like some spiritual protections and stuff like that. Clearly, he believed in that. And in the movie, he never removed that bag until his brother Slim turned. And I don't know if you remember in the movie, in the end, when they started slaying, the vampires and stuff like that. He replaced his mojo bag. No, it was after that fact. It was like towards at the end when he was getting ready to deal with the white supremacists. He took his bag off and he replaced it with the necklace of his brother. After his brother died, and he placed it on the firearm that he was using to slay them. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so it's like him going to battle still with his brother, because he still had that bond, you know what I'm saying, with his brother. And it was also a promise that Preacher Boy, Sammy, would not be touched, in the movie. But I felt like that part was more like, I'm going to put this, on the end of this barrel, because me and my brother still ride, together, even though he is on something else.
Right. And yeah, the inclusion of hold on, follow this link. The inclusion of hoodoo was what really let me know, like, oh nah, this brother got to be tapped in, because that's not even something that I've known about for a long time like that. Like, that's something that's really hidden in our history as foundational Black Americans.
Right.
You'll hear more about voodoo and certain African spiritual systems before you hear about hoodoo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which does have its roots. It does have its roots in those. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that comes through us, we do evoke ancestral energy and all of that as well from it. But the thing is, we take that energy and we create something unique that doesn't exist in the world and that hadn't existed it existed in the world prior. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's our music or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so hoodoo was one of those things. And you know, it's not a religion, it's a practice. You know what I'm saying? It's a connection to nature, or using nature again as a conduit to connect with the other side. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that we are one with all of these things, and the energy that flows through from the ancestral realm can flow through certain things in nature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you could use that as a tool for healing. You know, you could use that as a form of protection. You could use it as a form of weaponry. You know what I'm saying? And warfare and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so for them to include that, let me know. I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying?
And also because remember also in the movie when they was deciding like, you know, they're not going away. So we're going to have to fight them. You know what I'm saying? And how did Annie know? You know, one, we need to eat garlic. You know what I'm saying? The only way that we can kill them is if we, you know, put something through their heart. Like, how did she know that? You never encountered, you know, these types of beings before. So it was something spiritual that she knew what she had to do in order to get rid of them in a way. Like, how, because otherwise, how else would she know? You never
Right.
encountered a vampire before.
Right. Because at first, before she realized that, hold on, let me pull this up. Where is it? Yeah, before she realized that it was vampires, she thought she was dealing with Hanks. Remember, she was like, that ain't no Hank. You know what I'm saying? When she seen how they was turning and all that, she was like, nah, that ain't no Hank. You know what I'm saying? And they only mentioned it one time, real subtly. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool that they included it in there. And so I'm gonna read y'all this article from USA Today where they highlight that a little bit. The headline, that ain't no Hank. Sinner's movie references evil spirit, but what is it exactly? Turns out Sinners is more than just about vampires. Viewers have some thoughts about Ryan Coogler's subtle reference to another supernatural entity in the film released on April 18th. While a select few might have been an inkling about what Annie, a hoodoo practitioner and herbalist, meant by Hank, others were completely in the dark. One viewer even thought Annie uttered the word Hank as she tried to determine the cause of Stack's and Mary's death-defying transformation. Annie determines through context clues that her friends have turned into vampires, not Hanks, like she previously hypothesized. And so Hanks is something that is known like in Gullah Geechee culture and, you know, just old folks in the South, you know what I'm saying, that still got that spiritual connection. They talk about certain evil spirits being referred to as Hanks, you know what I'm saying? But again, that's a real specific thing in FBA culture. You know what I'm saying? That's like something like, if you know, type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
She was like, that ain't it. This ain't no Hank. This is something different. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we got to do. I even with in the scene, I know this has nothing to do with hoodoo or root work, but still religion, because Sammy was brought up in the church. And in the end, when Remick, that vampire, the white vampire, was trying to get him and they was in the water, you know, scene, and he started to recite scripture. He started to pray that spirit away before he, you know, ultimately hit him with that, you know, guitar and killed him. But it's still, he tied in religion, spirituality, voodoo, and root work all in this whole entire movie.
Right. Well, hoodoo, not voodoo, but hoodoo.
Hoodoo.
Right. And so Annie, the blue that she was wearing is called Hank Blue. It's actually a shade of blue that has been commercialized. You know what I'm saying? But it comes from that foundational Black American spiritual tradition. It's thought that blue is thought to be a protection from the Haints. So they had her as the hoodoo women wearing that protective color blue in the film. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little subtle things like that. And there's so many subtle little Easter eggs in the movie. We'll never be able to cover it all here, just off the top of the dome like that.
I tried to write little notes of what I could. Of what I could.
Right.
What did you think about the vision of Annie and Stack's baby in the end? What did that mean? What did that represent?
Cool. So remember when he first got to her house, there was like a vigil outside. Right. You know what I'm saying? He put flowers on there, I think it was, and it was like a little rock and something was there paying homage to somebody that had passed on. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know who it was when they showed that part. You know what I'm saying? But when everything was going down and she was like, don't let me turn into one of these things. If I get bit, you take this stick and you stab me in the heart. You know what I'm saying? Promise me don't let me turn into one of them. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I got somebody waiting for me on the other side, and so do you. And so the one that was waiting for them on the other side
was their child. Was
the child that they lost. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where we find that out. And so when he got hit up at the end, he bled out. And so instead of them showing him dying in a brutal way, they made it a spiritual transition to where he reunited with his family on the other side with Annie and the baby that they had lost. So I thought that was ill, the way that they did that, the way that they told that story.
That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. And also the fact that, he believed, he trusted her, gifts, if you will. He trusted her.
He was conflicted a little bit about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he was he got worldly a bit. Yeah. But he kept it the whole time. But he came back though. From that scene when he first came back to her house, you believed in it because you held that around your neck that entire time.
But I think it was more so because it was a reminder of her, because he did really love her. Yeah. He did really miss her. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, this was somebody that, he fell out of love with like that. He just had different choices to make in his life that was going to take him away from her. But he did love her and he did miss her. So I think that was like a reminder of her for him. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Stack and the mulatto.
Was that Stack or was that Smoke? Smoke with the mulatto.
It was Stack and Annie. No.
Let me see. Did I write that part down? Who did me? Did I write down?
No, because Smoke, because Smoke is the one that lived all the way to the end. Okay. Stack is the one that got turned to a vampire.
Okay.
Stack is the one that got turned to a vampire. Smoke is the one, that rejoined Annie in the ancestral realm. So I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying like Stack and the mulatto chick Mary.
Yeah, there was a real connection there also. It was a genuine connection there also with him and her. But somebody mentioned it here.
White man.
I know. But remember when he said, damn, it was a reason why he left her though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, I forgot exactly what it was. I think it might have been he was doing it to protect her. It was 1930s, Jim Crow South and all of that.
And you know what I'm saying? She's passing anything.
She's passing for white and all of that. And so it was like kind of for her protection. Like he felt like he needed to distance himself from her or whatever. Let her go be white. He was like, you got to be white out here. You know what I'm saying? And she was a tragic mulatto. She was conflicted about that. And even the woman that they casted to play the role, Ryan Coogler, like I said, very meticulous about all this. She is mixed, kind of. You know what I'm saying? The actress, her grandfather, her mother's father, he's like a Black Filipino. You know what I'm saying? So it's not FBA,
right?
But he's like a Afro Filipino guy. You know what I'm saying? And so her mother was basically a mulatto. You know what I'm saying? And so then her mother had a baby with a white dude. You know what I'm saying? So she'd been living as a white person her whole life.
All her life.
And so one thing I like that she did say, and let me play that, because she was explaining her connection to the character as, you know, biracial person or whatever you want to call it. Let me play that, and that's gonna be fair use too, by the way. If I could find it. Where you at, girl? This one right here. No, that's not the one. This one right here. Oh, it's a YouTube link. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't lose the sound. Hold on. All right, let me share this tab with y'all. And they was on Sirius XM. Got this brother's name, but he be on the Sway in the Morning show. All right, fair use, family, fair use.
What was your thoughts on passing prior to taking on this role? And then how did this character inform your thoughts of passing?
Wow. Well, it left me with more questions than it did answers. That's for sure. And
by the way, the woman that plays Annie, she's British. She's a British Nigerian, by the way, the actress.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, Delroy is Jamaican.
Yep.
But again, everybody did a phenomenal job. And that's the thing. I just wanted to point that out because, you know, people think we just be criticizing people playing in FBA roles just because. It's like, nah, if you show respect and you do a good job, I don't got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they clearly all did a great job playing their roles. I thought Delroy's Southern accent to me sounded the most authentic.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's always played an FBA too. I didn't know till recently.
Well, he played West Indian Archie in the Malcolm X movie.
Oh, okay.
He was West Indian Archie in the Malcolm X movie. But yeah, most of his roles was in FBA movie. Was it Clockers? I think he was in Clockers, Spike Lee joint, or was it Crooklyn? I think it was Crooklyn, but he was the dad. One of them Spike Lee movies. But yeah, everybody did a great job, and including what's her name?
Mary.
Mary, the girl that played Mary. And again, I'm gonna let her finish saying what she was saying, but there was a part where she definitely approached this role with the amount of respect that I think is appropriate. You know what I'm saying?
I'm forever grateful to Ryan for trusting me with this, for giving me the opportunity to use this as a way to get closer to my family history. I so believe in God's timing, and everything happens when it's supposed to and how it's supposed to, and everything happens for a reason. And I truly believe that this came into my life in a time where I didn't know I needed it. I wish it had happened sooner looking back on it now, but I'm grateful that we're here. I say that for the conversations that it started within my family. I had the most amazing conversations with my mom about my grandfather, who's half Black, and my God, what he may have or may not have gone through, what his parents may or may not have had to go through.
And so when I first seen that clip right there, it threw me off a little bit because I had already read that her grandfather was Filipino. You know what I'm saying? But when she said, you know, my grandfather was half Black, yeah, that threw me off a little bit. But when I saw the whole interview, because I watched the whole entire interview, and she kind of cleared that up a little bit. And she was saying how she had to explain to Ryan to let him know that she understood, even though she was doing all this research with her family and finding out about, you know, whatever they had to go through as mixed couples and all of that. She let Ryan know that I understand that I could never actually understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to bring everything I can to this role.
Right.
But trust me, I get that I will never, ever understand this experience for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought that was very respectful.
So let's talk about, you know, the vampires, the 3 vampires that initially came to the Jew joint to claim that they wanted to play there with their, what kind of music was that? I don't know. What
It
was
was
folk
like
music?
some
Folk?
Irish, it was like
Yeah,
some Irish
it was
folk
folk.
music.
Yeah.
They was jamming though. They was jamming. I ain't gonna
It was
hold you.
corny. That stuff was so corny. But they were in sync. They were on their beat for sure. In their trio. Um, but yeah, I was listening to I don't know if I was listening to something. I don't know if it was a YouTube video or Tariq Space, and how people were connecting, how they tried to get invited in under the guise of inclusion. You know what I'm saying? We's all in this together. You know what I'm saying? That kind of makes you think about what we going through politically here, the climate that we're in right now as Foundation of Black Americans. What's your thoughts on that?
Right, because they was throwing the Klan white supremacists under the bus.
Right.
And making it seem like the vampires were the lesser of the two evils. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
When they made a backdoor deal the whole time.
Right. They both on the same side at the end of the day. And you just trying to devour me in another way. In a way that's very unfamiliar to me, that I'm not really sure how to deal with. At least I know how to deal with these white supremacists that I know.
Right.
I'm used to the Klan. You know what I'm saying? We could deal with that. But this spiritual parasitic approach of with a friendly smile and all of that,
Democrats.
It's not something that I'm used to.
The Democrats. Yes, we are. Today.
Right. That's the point.
Today.
That's the point. But yeah, I thought they was jamming all of the music in the movie. I'm serious. I'm serious. I like their tunes. I like the tunes that they was playing. And but to me, that was part of the message too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, sure. Some of them are talented. Some of them are pretty good. They could dance a little bit and all that. Don't mean you got to invite everybody in though.
Yeah, Stack and Slim was adamant about that. They can't come in. They told Cornbread, don't let them in.
Right.
Everybody can't come.
Right. And that's the thing. And so in vampire lore or whatever, they have to be invited in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so they understood that, or they caught on real quick. Even though they didn't know vampire law, they had enough sense to catch on real quick to be like, oh, so y'all can't just come up in here like that. All right, cool. So we're just gonna close this door.
Right. Because they were coming in and they were coming basically to take over. Just like a lot of these other groups do right now with hip hop. We invited you in, as a guest, to our juke joint. And now you talking about we 50-50.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because remember, all that they really wanted was Sammy.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Because they could use Sammy as a conduit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With the music that he was playing. You know what I'm saying? That was the connection right there.
Right.
That was the connection right there. So it's like, yeah, if we could get him, we could tap into that energy center, that energy source, and put our content, attach our content to it. That's the shit that we be talking about on these Master Elements albums.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let us attach our messaging, our symbolisms, and our ideas to this magical art form of music right here. And therefore, you shape the world the way that you want to see it in your own image. Right. Turn everybody into vampires. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that shit was ill.
That was definitely.
I want to talk about my favorite scene in the whole movie.
What?
My favorite scene in the movie was at the juke joint when Quiet Boy, Preacher Boy, whatever, started singing.
The song he wrote for his dad.
Not the one that he was in the car.
When he was in the juke joint.
At the juke joint. I forgot what song it was though.
He said he wrote it for his dad, remember? Or about his dad.
Okay, yeah. But the way that they shot that scene where they showed the past, the present, and the future all at the same time.
Yes.
They centered the blues and showed you how everything came from the blues. Everything that came after the blues came from the blues, whether it was rock and roll, whether it was hip hop. They had like the Oriental geishas up in there. Everybody who was influenced by blues being the first original American music art form to ever exist.
Shout out to Dewan B. Shout out to Dewan B.
Right. Big shout out to Dewan B.
Who makes that connection as well.
Big shout out to Dewan B. You know what I'm saying? Dewan B is the one that sent me down the whole blues rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But again, that's probably another voice that Ryan Coogler has been listening to as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you get these ideas and then you got to go do research.
Right.
And so if you're doing that type of research online in 2020, whatever, ain't no way you're not going to run into Dewan B.
Right.
Ain't no way you're not going to run into that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the way that they made that scene where they showed the blues, they showed the ancient griots, and they showed the rock and roll artists, the hip hop artists, everybody all at the same time on the dance floor getting down, the DJs, and the way that they mixed in the music. Shout out to whoever did the score, the way that they mixed in the music, because the song that he was playing kept playing, but they put the elements of like West Coast hip hop in there. Right. They had that, they had that shit in there. They threw some scratching in there, like all of the sounds. It was just seamless within that scene, and how they showed everybody together on that dance floor, connecting everything to the foundation of the blues. And that scene right there is a microcosm of the whole movie.
Yeah,
that was the point of the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
The vampires and all of that stuff, that was for the entertainment value, and also the metaphors and the allegory and all of that stuff to be able to tell the story. But this is all I've been trying to tell you the whole time. That scene right there, this is what I've been trying to put you on to.
Right.
All of that was to say this right here.
And honestly, it pretty much ended with the blues, technically. Right? That final scene, with Sammy as an older man and stuff, he's still playing the blues into his later life.
He didn't want to give it up, because when they showed him go back to the church with his dad and all that. His dad was like, you got to put it down, trying to get him to put the guitar down. He wasn't trying to loose that guitar for nothing.
Mm-mm.
And so he held on and he kept it going. And he lived all the way into the 90s to where he's seen this music, this art form transform to all of the things that it became.
Right.
And really, it's a the movie is also exposing something that I've always said, which is there's really no such thing as genres. And he's exploiting that. I'm not exploiting it, but he's showcasing that on the music side and in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no music genres for real. It's all the same thing. It's all based on the same thing. And are there really genres in movies? Because this movie is a horror film.
Right.
It's a suspense thriller film. It's a drama. It's a musical.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a documentary. It's all that.
Right. It's a period piece. Like, so is there really anything any such thing as a genre for real? And like, it defies all of that. It goes against all of that. And it still captures you the whole time. It's entertaining. It's informative. It's everything that you would want to get from a great film, man. Right. And you don't see that anymore in Hollywood as much, because everything is a remake of something. Everything is a do-over. It's a spinoff. Like, nothing is original coming out of Hollywood like that. And this is an original piece.
With that being said, Tariq did a space a couple of nights ago, and some dude came on there and was like, Tariq, how they sent that man, whatever his name is, to El Salvador. What if they try to do something like that to us? What if they try to send us, as foundational Black Americans, to somewhere? And Tariq, like Tariq said, first of all, there's nowhere to send us. But secondly, what would they do without us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that means that, Ryan Coogler has to go. Michael B. Jordan has to go. What would they do without us?
Right.
We're the sauce. We're the seasoning. We're the everything. We're the foundation.
Right. And, again, Ryan Coogler putting this on the big screen like this, going all over the world, basically ubiquitous presence in the media right now, speaking this language, saying the same things that we're saying in his own way.
Right.
It lets you know how big this conversation has gotten, how, like Vicky Diller says, the power is really truly coming from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? Also, I've been watching this podcast called Dissect Podcast.
I haven't heard of it. Let me write that down.
Dissect Podcast is where they take music and they break it down, like how I was doing the lyrical breakdowns on the Decoded series.
Right.
But they do this shit on like an Ivy League level. You know, they breaking down every single line, every single music note, all of the symbolisms and the metaphors and just everything that's happening in the music. So anyway, the series that they got is on Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale album. They're like halfway through the season right now. I've been watching that, and they also did a breakdown on his halftime performance, which is the best breakdown on the whole internet. Everybody go watch that shit.
Okay.
Dissect Podcast breakdown of the Super Bowl halftime show. Everybody go watch that shit. But I'm only bringing that up to say that listening to him break down Kendrick Lamar's lyrics and his performance, and this is a white dude, by the way, that's doing his breakdowns. And I know it's a whole team involved with putting everything together, but the talking head is a white guy. But he's very specific about FBA culture all throughout the series, all throughout the breakdown. You know, it's very specific to foundational Black American culture. You know what I'm saying? He sounds like us.
Wow.
He sounds like us, just coming from like a Harvard professor or something. You know what I'm saying? From the way he talks and his delivery and stuff like that. But other than that, he's saying the same shit that we saying. You know,
Speaking
and
of
so
white people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's out there. It's out there, and we winning for real. We are controlling the narrative.
Speaking of white people, what did you think about Vlad's apology to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and did you accept it?
Me accept it? Who am I to accept it?
I'm just saying, as you know, somebody who is a student, I would say, of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, someone who's appreciative, of the work that he's done for our people,
I don't
on a
respect it.
massive scale.
I don't respect it.
Right.
I do not respect it. No, whatsoever. No, I don't respect it at all. Who gives a shit, Vlad? Who gives a shit? Like, your apology wasn't even needed. Like, I can't speak for Minister Farrakhan, but I'm sure he don't give a damn.
And most of the people that I've seen in the nation, I know RZA for sure said he doesn't accept it because, one, it's like Johnny come lately. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't feel like I listen, to the entire interview that he did with Willie D, and I don't feel like he took accountability. He kind of blamed other people, you know what I'm saying, for what he said. Well, it's because I had the wrong kind of people around me that was giving me, the wrong information and, blah, blah, blah. That's not taking accountability to me. And once you pointed the finger at someone else for what you said, that just, ruined it for me. And it took too long for the goddamn apology.
Listen, we know what it is. Vlad is one of the vampires in the movie.
Right. And he also said, and I don't want anybody to think like, I'm doing this because I'm missing views or my business is sinking. Yes, that's exactly it. Ding, 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 ding. You're suffering. People still watch him. Don't get me wrong, but people are not watching you like they were because of that. And you're feeling it. You can say what you want. Adam 22 already said that he's losing money. Your ass is too.
I don't know. I still think, 85%.
I agree, but it's something
85% is a lot.
For him to come out though now to apologize for what other than it's monetarily kicking you in your ass? It has to be.
I think he's fine. I don't even believe Adam and them when they talking about they losing money and all that. I think that's all BS. These guys are fine. They're doing just fine.
They're personally doing fine, but can they pay their staff?
You think Vlad is hurting as far as his show? I don't know. I don't pay attention to know if his numbers have dropped or whatever. But I just kind of doubt it. Just instinctively, I just kind of doubt it. I'm like,
So what is it then?
huh?
What would be the point of even opening his mouth and then to choose Willie D, who was bucking his eyes a little bit. Willie them eyes was bucking a little bit to me.
Why you
I
say Willie
felt
D
like
was bucking his eyes?
it just looks
Willie
like
D didn't challenge him. He didn't challenge him at all.
he was just like I felt the way about what you said, and although you and I continue to be friends, I just chose not to no longer go on your platform. Well, what was the punishment? Then when Vlad tried to give Leonard Cohen props, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Leor,
there you go, him. It's like, and like, why
yeah,
would
that's what I'm
you
saying.
do?
Vlad is Vlad. We know
Vlad
what
is Vlad.
we know what Vlad is.
And then
So
I didn't like how he was trying to throw, like, we're talking about you and what you did, and said with Minister Farrakhan. Then he's trying to throw in Kanye because he was really trying to shift, you know what I'm saying, the narrative and the conversation over here instead of focusing in on himself. That's how I felt as well. He wanted to, which Willie didn't, focus too much on Kanye, but I felt like he was trying to do that, but it just didn't work.
right, I get it. I don't know. I just kind of seen it was trending, and I was like, "Get your ass out of here, Vlad." I didn't bother to go watch the interview or nothing. Excuse me.
Well, yeah, I just thought it was, too little, too late. Oh, and I hired, FOI as my security, and then he made some statement like, he wanted to interview Minister Farrakhan, but they tried to send
Get
Nuri
your ass. So that's
Muhammad
what it's about.
instead.
There you go, right there. That's what it is, right
Yeah.
there.
And they tried to send Nuri Muhammad instead, and he felt like Nuri Muhammad wasn't like up the chain enough, basically, to grace his platform. That's kind of how I took it. It was like, bro, who are you?
Because he knows what kind of numbers Nori's going to do. He had Nori on there already before, although I think it would be bigger now, with the context of everything.
Right.
But yeah, nigga, who is you? But that's what it's about. There you go, right there. That's what it's about.
Right.
You like, what can I possibly? It's like, I don't even want to talk about Kanye, but like how I was saying, how Kanye always got to try to do something to one up himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What can I do now that's going to be shocking? Because I done did everything that's so shocking. It's like not even shocking anymore.
Right.
So Vlad is trying to figure out what that next thing is, and what would be bigger than bringing Minister Farrakhan on there. What would bring it in that? That would be like the biggest of the big. That would be like so crazy. So that's where his mind is at.
Age right now too, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's like, dude, shut up. Then where he grew up when they came here from the Ukraine. And then also he kept bringing up Jewish, and Jewish, blah blah blah, and it's just like with the Black community, you guys can talk about each other and stuff like that, but that's how the Jewish community is. Like, we can talk about each other, but other people can't, blah blah blah. But I thought he was atheist.
Right, but you know how they try to they play 3-card Monty with
of course,
the Jewish identity. One minute it's a religion, next minute it's a race, and it's an ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? It's all these different things. So even though I'm not religious, I'm an atheist, I'm a Jew, meaning my ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? Not my religion, but my ethnicity. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how they do with that.
But yeah, I felt like Willie was bucking just a little for me. I feel like he could have challenged him, push back, a bit more on what it is he did, and basically just tell him straight up, I'm not with you. You know what I'm saying? Farrakhan means, he did explain who and what Farrakhan means to the Black community. And I feel like he already knows that. I don't feel like we need to explain that. I don't feel like Willie needed to break down or define what Farrakhan means to us. This man already knew that.
Right. Yeah, what I want to do right now, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and I want y'all to, whoever's available, if you can hop on And remind us of some of the scenes in the movie, some of the stuff that we didn't talk about yet, or some of the things that just stood out for you that you wanted to mention about the movie or whatever. Anybody who had a chance to see the movie that's watching live right now, the link is in the chat. If you would like to hop on and give us some feedback about things that stood out about the Sinners movie with you guys, because I know there's a lot that we didn't touch on. There's a lot that we didn't cover. You know what I'm saying? In the movie, that's a movie that you got to watch multiple times. Really, like I watched it one time, and it's not like I got notes in front of me or anything like that. But just giving you our reaction off of what we saw and things that we remember that stood out to us. But maybe y'all could jog some more memories about certain things in the movie, because there's a lot. There is a lot. Was there any other parts that you wanted to mention?
Let me see what I got down here.
Oh, nicely do got notes over there.
I did. I actually did write stuff down. We already kind of talked about, the vampires kind of offering a false promise of freedom if they basically allow, them to turn them into vampires. Like this is your way to salvation, basically,
Right.
eternal life. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that. We talked about the baby. We talked about the mojo bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we touched everything.
The Asian family.
Yeah, Bo and Grace Chow.
Oh, that was their names?
That was their name. I forgot their daughter's name, but it was Bo and
So
Grace
in the
Chow.
movie, what happened was her husband had went outside to get something from the
To
car.
get the
So
car. To get the car.
Go get the car. And of course, he got caught slipping by the vampires out there. And so he got turned, and his wife started freaking out and all of that. And that was ill too. What they showed was that the vampire, he was in possession of her husband's soul. He knew everything about her. He knew everything about their family.
Oh yeah.
Remember he was like, yeah, I know how you like. I know how you like to get fucked. I know how you like to get licked. Whatever he said, something like that to her.
And where their daughter is.
And where your daughter is at. And so what happens is, they become you to a certain degree. They can see the world through your lens and your memories and your experiences and all of that. So that's how they tap into our energy and get to ride those waves, because now they're tapped into our DNA.
Right. And again, also it was her, Grace Child, who let them in.
Right. That's what I was getting to.
It was an outsider that let them in. It wasn't us.
That's what I was getting to. Everybody, all the foundational Black Americans, even though this was new to everybody, they know what's going on. Like I said, they had enough sense to know how to take a minute to try to get on code with each other to figure out a plan. Whereas the one that was invited in, the Asian lady, she started freaking out because she don't have the same type of ancestral experience that we have to know how to deal with adversity.
She didn't know how to get on code.
Right. And so she was willing to sacrifice everybody else's life to save her bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Because once he brought up her daughter, that's when she was like, nah, I don't give a damn. And she started trying to guilt smoke and all that. Didn't I just see you shoot two niggas? I thought you was Billy Badass. Shit. Nah, we about to go to war with these niggas right now. They ain't gonna get my daughter. And so she invited them in. She was the one that invited in the bullshit.
And their whole thing, I think, was waiting it out, because they was like, all we got to do is stay in here until daylight. They can't survive daylight. So they were hoping to just basically stay inside until daylight hit so they didn't have to. But once she did all that, remember, Delta Slim also sacrificed himself, remember?
Yeah.
Once they got in.
Yeah. And it was a dope scene, you know what I'm saying?
Very much so.
When they went to war with the vampires and all of that. But we got our brother Reality in the building. Welcome to the Godcast, King.
What's up, King?
Yo, what's up, Sincere? What's up, Nasty? Can y'all hear me?
What's up? Yes, we can hear you good.
Okay. Yeah, like what y'all was just talking about, can't let everybody in. You give me like
Gatekeep.
because they not on code, right? They're not on code. Like you get some goofball in there, you know. Like
You
they
are
not
going
on
in and
code.
out a little bit though. You are going like on and off the mic a
Oh,
little bit.
sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, but you know you let a goofball in your house, right? He can let the police in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? Like it can be anybody that'll let the police in. So that's why you got to be on code, man. That movie was like the best. I took my bro out there.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the best $16 I ever spent. I went on Tuesday because it was discount. So
Right.
There you
2
go. There
tickets
you
for
go.
16. But yeah, I love the movie. I loved how y'all breaking it down. I'm
Thank
waiting
you.
to see all the other reviews too. You know what I mean? New Black Media reviewing this. This is like FBA on big screen
On a big
Yeah.
screen.
worldwide. So,
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely.
yeah, but I just wanted to speak my piece and thanks for y'all letting me on and shit.
No
Appreciate
doubt.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
tapping in. And so yeah, man. Like he said, I'm like him. I'm waiting to see all of the breakdowns because this is gonna be like some Kendrick shit again.
I
All the
was just gonna
layers.
say that. Yeah, this is like this is FBA anthem year with the movie with the Kendrick Lamar song and stuff like that. Like we FBAing around here.
Yeah, these guys, you know, are at the top of their game creatively. And they both have the backing of the machine also.
Yep.
So they've been able to navigate the game, remaining their authentic self without doing all the shucking and jiving and compromising and all the other shit, just being authentically themselves. And that's another thing that I wanted to mention. Ryan Coogler, like I said, I've been watching all of the interviews and the whole press run and all of that shit. That's the Oaklandest sounding nigga I ever heard in my life. The way that nigga talks, that nigga got a strong Oakland accent.
And I
And
gotta go to Oakland next month.
And he's just him. He not code switching. He not doing none of that. He's just him. And that's a rare thing to be able to see in the music industry and the Hollywood industry. A black person who has real talent,
right?
Who is authentically, unapologetically black, having this level of commercial success with the backing of the machine. You don't get too many of those.
And let me add, he has a black wife.
Who was his business partner also?
Right. Who remember he couldn't afford to buy certain equipment and she bought it for him.
Right.
At one, like, let's be very clear.
Right. He don't got no Instagram model or some BBL chick or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He got a real thorough one, been down since day one, and business partner as well as his wife, showing you that family is business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they doing great work at the highest level.
The highest level. Unfortunately, Shannon Sharp should have listened to Monique and when she told him to get a woman his age. You know what I'm saying? That is not age right, is it? She told him to get someone his age that can get in the kitchen and cook and rub his damn feet. You know, now you got this 19-year-old OnlyFans chick. Basically, I think that they were on some. I always felt like it was role playing to him. She was playing a bit larger game the whole time.
You gotta tell people. Wait, hold on. You gotta tell everybody what you're talking about. Some people might not know what's going on with Shannon Sharp.
So Shannon Sharp, as you guys, if you're living under a rock, some 19-year-old white OnlyFans model, and I think she's a white Latina based on her last name. I forget what it is, but white Latina. They were hooking up. You know, she's releasing some phone calls, text messages, and stuff like that. And what they looked like it was into was some type of
him too.
You know, huh? Yeah, he released some too. As far as the text messages, because they were into, like, I guess I'm calling the slave play. You know, she was calling him her big black, you know,
doing some slave play shit.
Definitely, you know, her big black this and that, and you know, they were into, I guess,
she want to have that big black baby.
Yeah, choking and you know, stuff like that. So for him, I think he was always in character, but she was definitely setting him up.
She was. And he's slow for not picking that up. Like when I heard that audio.
Right.
Did you hear the audio when they was on the phone?
Country bumpkin.
I'm like, nigga, is you slow? Like she was obviously recording.
No means no,
it sounded like somebody was feeding her what to say.
Yes, because it was pauses in there, and especially when she said that no means no, Shannon.
Right. It was
and
so much. And Shannon, big goofy ass. I'm like, nigga, you can't be this goofy.
You put it in my hole without a condom. No means no, Shannon.
Right. And like what?
Dude, yeah.
You say some dumb shit and you just fall
You know
right
what he said? His goofy ass said, "I'm gonna choke you in person. I'm gonna choke you in person."
Right.
Said,
well, I'm public.
Goofy gump. Yeah. You know, but he's the same person when people tell him, "Why don't you have a black woman? You need to leave these Beckys alone, blah, blah, blah." Oh, he goes crazy. Don't tell me who I can date. And blah, blah, blah. I got black kids and I done dated black women. I like all women. Well, there you go. But you're liking all.
But like you said, Monique tried to tell him.
Monique definitely
and
tried
I'm trying to share this with y'all. Oh, here you go. I don't know why this thing is moving so slow.
Shannon ain't arrived nowhere but to court now. And to the bank to get it. And then he offered her a $10 million settlement that she denied.
Is that part true? Because I thought I saw that her people said that, but his lawyer, his team came out and said that that was never true. That was never the case.
We'll see.
But can y'all see this on the screen now?
Yeah, we can see it.
So yeah, this Monique clip when Monique was on Club Shay Shay been going viral because she tried to tell his ass, and this was funny. Fair use, by the way, fair use.
Come on, they talk to us. How this dating thing? Because this is Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
But you tried to say what you tried to say.
I'm looking right at you. I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn,
now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Nigga said, "Damn, Mo." Yo, I love Monique, yo. I love motherfucking Monique, yo. She's the realest, man.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Monique, I mean, these niggas shit and said, "Damn, Mo, let me live, auntie." Damn.
No, this
like I can't even say you're wrong. You hitting the nail on the head, but can I live?
He wanted to get in some good
I'm out here enjoying myself with these snow bunnies. Yeah, let me get in my good trouble. Don't hit me with the reality, because I've been in the NFL, you know what I'm saying? I've been, in the limelight, and especially over these last few years, I've been blowing up real big. You know what I'm saying? I'm all over the place. I got nothing but yes men around me.
Right.
And now here you come with this real shit. You trying to bring this real shit in my life. I don't need this, Mo. Come on. I'm enjoying this delusion. Let me have it.
Let me mess with this 19-year-old
You gonna come hit me with the real
fans, Becky.
Let me tell you what my baby need. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon need. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get your old bitch out there.
Yo, all right, that's enough.
He said, "I do." You heard him?
Fair use, by the way. Fair use.
And the OnlyFans chick
this thing is slowing the
19.
game down.
The OnlyFans chick is 19 years old. She allegedly met him at
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Is this my daughter?
Uh-oh.
Rhea.
Hey, no, it's not your daughter. It's me.
Oh. What's up? What's
How are
good?
you guys?
What the Godcast, man? I appreciate you
Welcome.
hopping on.
Just wanted to touch on a few things. I'm a little under the weather, that's why I sound like that. But I'm not too sure if you guys touched on this part in the movie, but it also kind of correlates to the unfortunate symbiotic relationship that Black music has with white dollars. And mainly when the mulatto character ran out, she didn't also just run out to get help from the white vampires because she also had some sort of, I guess, affectionate relationship with them. But I believe believe it was Smoke, he sent her out because they needed money. And a lot of the Black people who were coming in, they wanted to do business, but they were also paying, I believe, in wood chips that they were getting from the people who owned the plantations. So it was really hard to subsidize the business with that, and it was a last resort. And that's how kind of, I guess, Black music is today. It's pretty much how it is. Black artists have this unfortunate relationship with these record industry holders and people with money who happen to be white. And I guess Ryan Coogler also wanted to highlight that part in the movie as well.
Great point. Great point. Why are we so susceptible? Why are we such easy prey in the first place? Because of our lack of resources. It's the resource deprivation that makes us easy prey.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Reparations are needed now.
Say that.
Say that, federal.
Say that. But that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point, beloved. Anything else? That was a good one.
No, that was it. Guys, keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
Guys, have a great week.
You too.
All right,
Get better
appreciate
soon.
you.
All right, thank you so much.
Wait. How were the theaters out there in Canada when you saw the movie?
Well, I went on Monday because I was feeling well, but I had a day off because of Easter Monday. But there was a good balance of Black people in there. You had a couple white people. But for the most part, it seemed like it was a good movie. Everybody pretty much enjoyed it. People were clapping at the end. I was looking over to my right because I had two white girls sitting beside me. They weren't scowling too much, I guess, but you know, with them. But it was a really, really good movie. And I think it was Michael B. Jordan's best role I've ever seen him play.
Agreed.
Oh, for sure.
Agreed.
For sure. All right, but yeah, thank you. Thanks again, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
No worries. Take care, guys.
Yeah, that was an excellent point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would have not sent her out there because they was against sending her out there. But it was the money. It was the money situation. Like, oh, you think you can get some money about them? Because again, she trying to play both sides.
Right.
You know what I mean? She passing as white, so she can infiltrate white society. But the flip side of that is she can infiltrate Black society.
May as well.
After she's infected by these demons, she's able to slip in with the bullshit.
Slip in that Negro.
Man, that was a good point. But yeah, Mo tried to tell you, Uncle Shay Shay.
Mo tried to tell his ass. Now, allegedly, he met this 19-year-old girl at his gym that he goes to work out. I'm thinking, was this a setup the whole time?
Right. Sound like it to me too.
It sounds like it was a setup the whole time. They know Shannon goofy. They knew he was goofy.
They know your weakness. They know what you like. They know what you're into. You know what I'm saying? And that's a common thing. They do that with football players from young.
Right.
College football players, they send them white girls at them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about their daddies.
Right.
Their family members and all of that.
They don't play.
They see a strapping young buck. They know he about to go to the league or he about to get some of that NIL money. Oh, they send them Becky's at them.
Right.
It's a Trojan horse. You know what I'm saying? And Shannon Sharp never evolved from that country college football player first time out the country. You know what I'm saying?
And if we gonna be real, Shannon Sharp and Netta do look alike.
That's funny.
I'm sorry. Him and Netta are long lost cousins. Listen. If you put us side by side, Shannon and Netta do favor Like, I'm no
who said
shade.
that? Funny Marco said that, right?
But it's true. Every
It's
time I
true.
see it, I'm like, I see it.
Yeah, it's definitely was on point. It definitely was on point. But man, I think he's gonna be all right legally.
Yeah. It was definitely some role playing. It's evident.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be all right legally, but especially with the lawyer that's involved, this Tony Busby dude, like this nigga don't learn. I think he's gonna get disbarred.
He should have already been, if you think about it. To be
He's
honest, he
gonna
should
lose
have
his
already
damn
been.
license as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Not because you don't see the machine distancing themselves from Shannon. Right? And I like what they did. I like what I will say is whatever team he do got around him, he needed them before he even made the dumb shit. Been out there doing the dumb shit. But whoever it is doing this cleanup job for him, I like the way that they handling the backlash. Everything was prepared, calculated. Right now, they got the interview that he did with Terrence Crawford, the boxer, Terrence Bud Crawford, where he's in the ring and they boxing around, wrestling around, playing with each other and all of that stuff. It's kind of showing another side of Shannon, a human side, a playful side. It's not showing him as this big black monster. You know what I mean? And so I think all of that is strategic right now, like the timing of everything, the way that they're reacting to it. It's kind of like, he spoke out immediately against it. He started dropping some text messages and stuff to defend himself. He put the girl's name out there because she was going to be another Jane Doe, but he put her name out there and exposed who she was, didn't let her hide in the shadows and all of that. I like everything that they've done since this has come out. You know what I'm saying? Forehead.
AB, the football player.
Oh,
he
what
has
said?
been on X clowning the heck out of Shannon. By the way, he just posted this. Wait, can y'all see it?
Is that the Sinners?
Wait, let me turn off my ring light. Oops, my bad. I took it off the screen.
What does it say?
It says, I only asked for anal because it reminds me of Skip.
What?
In some of AB has been going to town on him.
But AB, man, AB is like he's like another Kanye type of dude. Like he was out here fundraising and defending the Metcalf.
Was it?
Yeah. He was out here fundraising for him and defending what him got going on, throwing Carmelo Anthony under the bus and all of that. Yeah, AB is a piece of work.
He's another Kanye though, in a way.
That's what I said. Yeah. He's a piece of work. But and I heard also that Stephen A started distancing himself from Shannon Doe. I didn't see it, but I heard in the barbershop they was talking about it today, talking about some of the stuff. Stephen A. Smith came on TV talking about, I know I brought him, I know I brought him on and all that, but hey, I ain't know about the dark side. I ain't got nothing to do with all of that. I don't know exactly what he said. I'm just, paraphrasing or whatever, but he was kind of throwing Shannon under the bus from what I understand.
Nigga, you next too. You see, I don't know if you saw the video that I posted on X with Meek Mill. He's somewhere in a I don't know, a lake, beach or something with two Beckys.
The hard-headed never learn.
The hard-headed never learn. I said, oh, you next. But I think for him, he just wants to prove that he likes women, especially after the Diddy situation and him with the matching outfits and all the rumors and stuff. I think he just wants to show up with any woman at this point.
Man, the hard-headed never learn, man. I don't know what these
my mama
dudes be
said?
thinking about.
A hard head makes a soft ass.
Right.
Fat meat, that they don't think fat meat greasy. Let me give y'all them country sayings.
All right, that's the main thing I be warning these young boys about, man. All my young boys out here that play football and all that, They going to college. A lot of people from here, they go play D1 and all that stuff. There's a lot of, some of the top players in the country come right out of Gwinnett. And so that's the main thing I be talking to them boys about, man. Look, the Becky's gonna make it easy for you, homie.
Right.
They're gonna put it right there on the platter for you. You got to know how to move. You got to know how to navigate out here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at Shannon like, nigga, you old enough to be my daddy. You this dumb?
And why? I mean, she's of age. Thank God, right? She's 19, but what are you doing with a 19-year-old? Because you, as someone who's not of his age, could you see yourself even entertaining a 19-year-old?
My daughter is 19. My daughter about to be 19.
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
And again, when you listen to the audio from the conversation, he just got some type of freak off fetish. He just got some type of freak off fetish because he's not even thinking about the individual, because that's what we think in our mind. Like, what you gonna do with a 19-year-old? We're thinking mental.
Right.
What y'all could talk, what do y'all have to talk about? You know what I'm saying? What can y'all relate to? That's what we're thinking. But for him, it's 100%. This is just a body.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is just a body.
And she giving up the donut.
Right.
He wanted the donut.
Right. Man. And so she's not the only one, right?
Of course not. And so now, how many more are gonna come out?
It's about to start snowing, nigga. It's gonna be an avalanche.
Right.
It's gonna be an avalanche. If he paid $1, they coming out the woodworks. Buzz be lining them up right now.
Right now. And trust me, he hasn't shot every, bullet in his gun yet, Busby, at all.
But like I said, I think he's gonna lose his license. He's gonna get debarred. Right now, Jay-Z and his legal team is going at that dude pretty hard. And whoever is protecting Shannon right now, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be going at him the same way. And so a lot of this is kind of looking good for Diddy, low key.
Royalty crazy. Yeah, but he still needs to take Monique's advice. Like, dude, okay, we're not saying she has to be exactly 56, 57 years old, but 50 is good. 50 is still young. 45, but 19, no. 19, no.
But can you, if you Shannon Sharp, you know what I'm saying? Rich, famous, successful, everybody know you. You know what I'm saying? Even at even women that are your age, is there anybody that you really could, like what Monique was describing, was like, you need somebody that really love you,
right?
Somebody that's gonna really hold you down. Is it even possible to find that at this point if you don't already got that?
I don't think that it's impossible. I think that he has some friends out there who can hook him up.
I think everybody's gonna have an ulterior motive. Everybody's gonna have an ulterior motive.
She could be a divorcee. She has her, and she can have her own money. You know what I'm saying? She can already have her own money. So it's not necessarily that, but someone of age that is looking for companionship, that's looking for love, the physical part, all that, to travel and do all those things with you. She's just of age and she has her own shit.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's someone hard. Because he's
somebody that you actually want too, though. Remember that part. It gotta be somebody I want too.
Yeah, but I think that he's going through this stage right now. I don't know what he's on right now. The fact that he entertained a 19-year-old just lets you know he's not, even as for physically. Why would you think that that's okay? Where are you mentally? He needs to grow up, it sounds like.
Listen, they got that nigga taking them pills that he be promoting, whatever them shit is called. He think he 19 again.
Well, nigga, you not.
He got surgery. He got the veneers. He like, shit, maybe I am 19 again.
Yeah, no, he got to do better. He got to do better. I'm available, Shannon.
Oh, that's what we talking about. Oh, okay, that's what this is about. Let me tell you,
but there's no donut option over here. There's no donut options here. I'll rub your feet, make you some ham hocks, all that, but there's no donut.
That ain't what Shannon wants. See, that's the problem. Like I said, it got to be what you want too. It got to be what you want too, not just what wants you, but what you want back.
I can compromise. I'm flexible. I ain't that flexible. No donut.
Uh-oh.
No
Uh-oh.
donut.
All right.
Or let me say this before we go, because I know we winded up. Or does Shannon need to just come out?
Damn, really?
Yeah, we know. Shannon, the one that he was always at the basketball games with, courtside,
I don't know who's that.
his stylist, who's clearly and obviously moist.
Oh, I don't know.
I've never seen Shannon courtside with a woman. Always this little moist dude.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about that.
We don't know.
No comment.
We're just saying, if that's what you are, what better time than now? Like, this is where that community is celebrated, no judgment, and do you?
Right. But I just want to say, I do agree with what Mo was saying. I just think that if you don't already got that at this point, that's going to be something that's hard to find. That's like some day one shit. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody that been with you through everything is going to be that one that she was describing. And that is what you need, though. That's the way that it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? When we get up there, you know what I'm saying? When we become seasoned men, we supposed to already have that one locked down that's going, you know what I mean, be that everything that we need out here. So we don't got to be moving reckless like Shannon out here moving reckless and not having no type of discipline and control over your sexual urges and all of that. Like, you too old for that, my nigga.
Well,
you too
has he
old
ever
for
been
that.
married? I know he has children, but has he ever been married?
I don't know.
Because I've never known him to even be married. I think that he was so close off of having that type of connection with the woman, because a lot of these guys don't want it because of their success. They are going into it thinking that a person is just going to go dig. She going to want me for my money. Well, if you're laying with this person unprotected and making babies with this person, you're going to pay her anyway.
Shannon probably
you gotta pick a struggle.
Shannon probably got snipped out here. He ain't getting nobody pregnant.
But my thing is, okay, but he got like 3 kids. You ain't slipped 3 times.
Well, grown kid? They got to be grown kids,
He got
right?
grown kids. He got grown kids.
I'm talking about now. Yeah, I'm talking about now, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that growing old with someone or growing up and with someone, he's already past that. I think by choice.
Are his kids with a black woman?
Yeah, all of them. He don't have no mixed children.
Okay. All right, so now he just out here. Now he just out here living out his fantasies, man.
Now he out here bunny hopping.
I ain't all the way mad at him. I get it, but tighten up, Shannon. Damn. Tighten up, man.
Royalty says that Reality says that his woman is in her 50s, and she said that he can have another girl for more kids. They have an understanding.
Wait,
wow.
what?
You see it. He says that his woman is in her 50s. His girl is in her 50s. But she said, I can have another girl for more kids. We have an understanding.
So are y'all doing the poly thing? Is that
right?
That sounds like some poly shit.
We got questions now.
Y'all doing some poly shit, right? This was an outstanding analysis of Center's FBA is now center stage globally. Appreciate that. I didn't know if we did good or not. We just over here kind of kicking it.
What's up, Tony?
Shout out, Realer Than Real.
What's up?
In the building. Yeah, LOL my ass, nigga. Answer the question.
Right, we need to know. We in your business. This isn't the Black Business Showcase, but we all up in your business.
And how old are you, by the way?
Right.
Did a great review. I couldn't even add much. Y'all did it. All right, cool. So all right, good. That's good to hear, because I felt like we was just kind of scattered a bit. But it's okay. It's okay. We do what we do. We do what we do.
Y'all, I'm getting my hair done next week. I know y'all tired of it. Me too. I actually washed my hair today before I came on, and I had to pin it up. in here, but I'm going on a cruise next week, so I'll be
Oh,
gone
where you
for a
going?
week.
Where you
I'm going
going?
to Cabo.
Oh shit,
I'm
nice.
going to Cabo and Ensenada. So I'll be gone for a week. I leave next Thursday. I can't wait to get out of here and
Nice.
get some sun. But I'm gonna flood y'all timeline.
Nice.
Because baby, the
Nice.
outfits are outfitting. Oh, also, I got my Dr. Francis Cress Wilson shirt. I haven't even opened the package yet because I
Oh,
want to do kind of a unboxing slash. I'm gonna style it and post pictures and stuff like that once my hair is done. So yeah, but I
that's
got it,
what's up.
and I can't wait to wear it.
That's what's up. Okay. Hey, that's what's up. That's how y'all doing it. That's how y'all doing it.
Yep.
Reality. No judgment. No judgment here, man. Y'all do y'all thing, man. Whatever makes you happy. But I ain't trying to have no more kids. Period.
You hear me? Well, first of all, you got a team already.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a
I'm
team already.
I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm more than good.
I have 2, and that's it.
I'm more than good. You know my baby girl about to come stay with me too, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have all the.
It's about to be lit.
It's
About to
supposed
be
to be
lit.
ready. Now, don't be trying to be overprotective. You know, when she was like, "Dad, I'm going on a date."
I ain't tripping. You know the reason I ain't tripping. Me and Ray talk all the time, and the way her mind works, I'm like,
You good?
she good. Is she good?
Daddy did that.
Like, anything I feel like I would need to tell her, she already got it. She already got it. Sometimes, only thing she need from me is just a reminder.
Right.
And the
We
thing
all need
is,
that.
she comes to me for it. Like she knows, or whenever she's feeling unsure or whatever the case may be, I'm that phone call. I get those phone
Right.
calls. You know what I'm saying? When she's just trying to sort everything out. And I don't really got to do much. It's just like prompts.
I
But
wish
it's
my
just,
daughter would listen. My son listens. That was weird. The son listens to
mine is the
everything. As a
opposite.
matter of fact, he was gonna call you the other day. We had some he said that I said in Texas when we went out there for the FBA Expo, and he was like, and Sincere was a witness. You didn't want me to move out. I said, I never said that. I never told you not to move out.
I don't remember.
I was like, do not bother this man. He's busy. He was gonna call you with me. We were in the car the other
I
day.
don't even remember.
Good.
Don't ask
I wouldn't
me.
say that. I was like, nigga, bye.
I remember something. I remember something about him wanting to come to Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. I don't remember what was said exactly.
I'm turning his room into a full-on walk-in closet.
Yeah.
When he's out of here, which is gonna be this summer, June, July-ish. Yeah, I'm turning that room into a closet.
Yeah. Shout to Ty Weezy, man. But yeah, we appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. This was our review of the Sinners. It's not a definitive breakdown. This is not a decoding or anything like that. This is just, telling you what was our thoughts about the movie and everything surrounding the movie, the rollout, the business side of it, the symbolisms within the story, the allegories, the entertainment, all of it. You know what I'm saying? We're just telling you the things that we loved about the movie. We definitely wanted to give our 2 cents because this is one of those, like I said, milestones in Black cinema. You know what I mean? And we proud. We proud of our brother, and we proud of the way that our culture is being represented on such a big platform.
Yeah, I'm going to see it tonight. I'm gonna take my mama. So this is gonna be my second time seeing it.
If you can, try to go to IMAX.
Okay.
It's gonna cost a little bit more, but if you got IMAX near you, try to go to that one.
Okay.
And that's what Ryan Coogler is recommending. So that's what I would recommend. But when I go see it again, I'm gonna watch it in IMAX. Because the way that he's breaking it down, like, he's not just trying to tell us to go to IMAX to make some more money. Like,
it's the experience.
It's an experience. Exactly. It's an experience. So I want to be a part of that, because once it's out the movies, it's out the movies. Ain't no IMAX on streaming, whatever,
right?
Netflix or wherever it's gonna be on. Ain't no IMAX on there. So I'm gonna go check that out on the IMAX theater. But so you going next week then? You gonna be here on Sunday?
I'll be here this Sunday. I leave the following Thursday, so I won't be here the following Sunday. I'll be in Mexico.
So we should be back here at our regular time on Sunday. For those that don't know, we usually broadcast on Sundays around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. We'll be covering more current events and other issues that we feel are pertinent to what's going on in Black society. And also, we got the Black Business Showcase. If anybody out there listening is a business owner, entrepreneur, you're a writer, you're an inventor, got a nonprofit, anything like that going on, you would like to be featured on the Black Business Showcase, hit us up. I'm at Sincereluvdagod on all social media platforms, at NiceDGirl with the number 1 on Instagram, without the number 1 on X. Also, you can send us an email, godcastenterprises@gmail.com. Let us know exactly what you got going on so we can get you on the schedule for the Black Business Showcase. And with that being said, we out of here, family. Always remember, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters. I hope Anthony Browder does a breakdown of the movie. He does the dopest movie breakdowns. He does the dopest movie breakdowns. That would be a good one. But we not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.